This is your host Dave. I got on the line with me right now, Bobby Cottrell, Nitro Funny Car Driver. How you doing, Bobby?
Hey, hanging in there. How about you guys?
I'm good. So, Bobby, how's your New Year going so far?
Hanging in there, man. Got a lot of work in the shop and trying to get everything done and all my customers ready for the beginning of the season. We started March in Bakersfield, so we're kind of down to the last few cars and thrashing it out, trying to get everybody ready. So other than that, we're doing pretty good.
So how last year go for you with the car?
What's that?
How last year go for you with the funny car?
I'm sorry, I can hardly hear you.
How did last season go with the funny car?
Pretty good. It was kind of off to a rough start. First race, we had the driver had some issues, and the second race, we had a couple issues with the car, but we came back and won the race, and it ended up being a good season. Now I think the whole team works good together, and I really enjoy driving for Bucky, and it's just a lot of fun, man. I'm just trying to show up and do my job, not mess up too much, and just hang in there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So tell me about it. How did the whole drag racing thing come about for you? What year did you start?
I actually started driving a race car actually 4 days after I got my license. My dad's been into drag racing, all my life, so he actually got me into it. And he ended up buying me my first car when I was like 15 years old. It was a '70 Chevelle, and I just kind of got hooked and started building that through my high school, my younger high school years, and ended up racing that, like I said, 4 days after I got my license, and just went away with that. And after high school, I ended up selling the Chevelle to build a dragster, and that's when I got really deep into it. So fast forward a few years, and now here I am. So it's been kind of I remember being at Riverside Racing when I was 2 years old. So it's been a long road so far.
So now the Chevelle, was that a bracket car?
Yeah, it was a 10-second car. It was my everyday car. I drove back and forth to high school. I ran like 1080s, and it just wasn't fast enough when I got out of high school, and it was more financially, I guess, made sense building a lighter car than building a motor to make my Chevelle run in the 8-second range. So I built my first front engine dragster and just kind of went away with that,
Now the front engine dragster, that was Nitro?
No, I actually took the motor and stuff off of my Chevelle, out of my Chevelle, and put it in that car. And I think I ran 82, which is 860 index, for like a year and a half, and got bored with that, and we ended up putting a big block, my dad's big block, in the car, and ran 81 for a couple of years, and then got bored of that and just kept on stepping up. So I think that's kind of the story of most drag racers. You get kind of bored and you want to go on to bigger and better things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so when did you evolve to nitromethane?
I actually, the first nitro car I've driven was Anthony Cero's injected nitro top alcohol dragster in Vegas. And I actually got my license in that car, and he invited me back to drive it in one of the regional events, and I had a blast, man. It was a real fast car compared to what I was used to. And I've always liked nitro cars. Obviously, that's what I always tell people that's what I want to do when I grow up, is be a nitro funny car driver. So that ended up. We won a couple championships in 7.0 Pro, and I actually met Drew Austin and Pat Austin through the Nostalgia A fuel car, because I was actually driving a Nostalgia A fuel car at the time for Tom Archibald. And Pat has always came up to me and told me, hey, kid, you're going to make it. And, I didn't think anything of it because, I hear that a lot, and I just, I believe stuff when I'm strapped in the car, you know what I'm saying? And I've got along with Drew Austin really good from the start. And one day he called me and asked me if I ever thought about driving a nitro funny car, and it kind of went from there. Bucky Austin called me like a half an hour later, and now we are here where we're at. So I've been pretty blessed for the people I've met through the years and the opportunities that arose. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just trying to enjoy myself.
So now, when you started bracket car racing, how old were you?
I was 16 years old.
And now how old are you? Okay. Now, with the
35.
when you first got in the nitromethane dragster, how was the feel for the first time?
It was, it was kind of, there was a lot going on. I mean, I went from driving a 620 car, 620 blown alcohol front end dragster to a 300-inch injected nitro car. So it was okay as far as at the hit, right when I hit the gas pedal. But man, 200-300 feet out, the clutch starts locking up, and those things set you so hard in the seat. It's not even funny compared to what I was used to. So I remember, the second pass, I think the first pass I went like 570, 200, I can't remember, 200 some miles an hour. My second pass was like, I think I went like 540, 270 or something like that, and it was just kind of surreal, you know what I'm saying? Because I've watched so many people do it, and wished for so long to be able to do it, and it kind of came true. So it was a lot of fun, man. It was a lot to take in at that time, but I think we arose to the occasion, and we did our best. So it's been fun so far.
Now, what was it like getting behind the wheel of a funny car for the first time?
That's like the only thing I could explain it like is it's complete havoc compared to anything I've ever driven. It's you're busy from the time you do the burnout to the time you pull the chutes. I remember the first time I sat in the seat, Bucky came up to me, I looked at Kid, it's not like a drag, so you got to move that steering wheel, and of course in my head I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Well, as soon as I hit the gas pedal just to do the burnout, man, the thing tried to get sideways on me, and it was just, I've never turned the steering wheel so much in my entire life. And I remember backing up from the burnout, I'm like, holy crap, I don't know if I could do this or not. So, the first round we ended up doing good and just kind of progressed every run. But it's not for the faint at heart, you know what I'm saying? You're very busy in the car, and you're not, dragster, you could kind of relax and enjoy the ride. Especially at some of these events I've been to last year when we run the final at 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning and the track cools down. It gets pretty hairy, man. I mean, there's been a couple of times where I've been against a stop on the steering, and it's just a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of fun.
So you didn't get any claustrophobia when they lowered the chassis down on you the first time?
A lot of people, there's a few people like, you better be like, sure you want to do this because it's a different ball game. And I've been pretty good about jumping into any car and being able to drive it. But now when they fired me up and lowered the body, I remember I got a smile on my face. I'm like, oh shit, everything just got kind of real. But after that, as soon as I let the clutch out to roll forward, everything kind of fell into place. But to answer your question, it is different. I didn't get claustrophobic at all, though. So now what's been the quickest run time you've had with the car? We ran 552 I think the best mile an hour we've ran almost 262. So it's been we just set the national record at Bakersfield at the Hot Rod Reunion. So we were all stoked about that, and I made Bucky smile again, so that was a good thing. Yeah, Bakersfield. That's where we lost Brett Henry, the fuel altered guy. Yeah, that was really, really unfortunate. It kind of brought everybody down at the event. It was I can't even imagine what their family's going through. So just it was a bad deal all around. That's for sure. Yeah. So now with the funny car, how many events did you run last year? I ran, I believe, 9 events. Yeah, we ran 9 events, I believe, with me in the seat. So it was kind of a full season, And plus, I ran the 7.0 car at different local events too. So it was a pretty full season. Now, for this year, do you have any events lined up besides March so far? Yeah, we have like 14 events scheduled. It's subject to change at any time, but as of right now, we got like 14 events. So we're gonna go from anywhere from Canada to, I think we're gonna be going to Bowling Green for the Hot Rod Reunion back there. So it's gonna be a very, very full season. We're gonna go up obviously to Spokane and Seattle because that's their backyard. So it's gonna be an exciting year, man. I'm really excited to get back in the seat and get back around my guys and girls and have a good time. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So no plans to hit Funny Car Chaos? I don't know. I'm just the driver, man. I show up at the airport when I'm supposed to and hit the gas pedal when I'm still supposed to. So I'm gonna talk to Bucky about it. I don't know what, I mean, he spends a lot of money and puts a lot of effort forth, and he's got a lot on his plate. So I don't want to ruffle his feathers or get on his bad side. I mean, 14 events for any team is a lot of events as it is. So I'm just pretty blessed to be able to have the opportunity. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know they're doing 3 funny car chases this year. 2 in Texas, 1 in Illinois.
Oh, really? Yeah, those events look like a lot of fun. I think Chris Graves put them on.
Yeah, I believe so.
He did an absolute excellent job last year. I kind of kept an eye on it, and if I wasn't running a Nitro car, I'd definitely be there to at least spectate. But I don't know. You never know, man. I mean, like I said, the schedule, always changes, so you never know. Bucky might get a wild hair and want to go. We'll see.
Yeah, it's cool how they bring any kind of funny car in the alcohol. Nitro you could go against alcohol.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, man. I like I said, I kind of kept my eye on it last year, and I think that's what we need in drag racing now is more, to mix it up. You know what I'm saying? You go to, nothing against the big show guys, but it's kind of the same thing over and over. You know what I'm saying? At those events, you get to, if you're in a Nitro car, you might be able to race your buddy in a top alcohol funny car. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, I think it's really awesome.
Right. Now, do you have any drivers that are inspirational to you out there?
Do I what? I'm sorry.
You have any drivers that are inspirational to you?
Man, there's like so many. I mean, I look up to a lot of drivers. Obviously Pat Austin. He's made a very, very good name for himself. I mean, he's just, the cool thing about Pat is he's such a good person. I mean, at heart, he wants the best for everybody, and but when it comes to competition, you can tell it's a completely different side of him. So, I mean, he's obviously he's had a huge impact on my career. Obviously Bucky Austin. Bucky's like, it's funny because I talked to so many people about him, and they all ask me the same thing. Oh, how's it driving for Bucky? I've had an excellent time. But there has been times where I've screwed up because I got to go through the trials of learning to drive a funny car, and people are like, you don't get fed up with because Bucky's very straightforward, and it's like, well, even if I was mad and I tell him, well, why don't you try it? Bucky will literally get in the car and drive it probably better than anybody else. So his direction, just from the start, I kind of knew we were going to have a good relationship just because of the way he explains things, and my driving is just the reflection of his ability to teach. I mean, it's worked out really good, and like I said, I'm really excited to learn some more off of him, and hopefully we could bring home the world championship next year. That'd be really, really awesome. So we'll see what happens.
Now, how many sponsors do you have for the car?
I don't even know, man. We've got there's a few people that help us out quite a bit. Obviously it's the Bardall back car, so obviously Bardall, and there's Bucky's auto repair stores. He's got, I can't remember how many stores, 15 or 16 stores in Washington, and we got J.E. Pistons backing us. DJ Safety does a huge amount for us as far as safety equipment. We had a fire in Seattle, and I mean, I didn't have any injuries or nothing. I mean, they help us out tremendously, but I believe Headman Headers help us out. I can't remember. Once I get to the track, man, I'm busy from the time I get there to the time I leave. So a lot of people come up and they talk to me, and I try to be as talkative as I can, but I'm really busy from the time I get there to the time I leave. So as far as all the sponsors, I apologize if I missed anybody, but I really haven't paid attention to a whole lot, to be honest with you, other than driving and working.
Now, how many crew members do you have, and who are the crew members?
Well, we got obviously Bucky. He's a crew chief. He's kind of the main guy. Obviously, he owns everything. And we got Mark Barrett, which he does the clutch. He's an awesome clutch guy. We got Don, AKA Wiener. He's kind of the jack of all trades. He does the bottom end. He kind of takes care of anything that we need. He's on it. And the guy's like 65 years old, and he runs around like he's 16 years old. So then we got Becky. She's from Australia. She's kind of the go-to girl for anything. She puts the oil in the car and helps out bottom end with Wiener. And we got Buzz. We call him Buzzard. He puts oil in the car and just anything that we need. I mean, he's like there for. He's kind of, like I said, like the other guys. He's a jack of all trades. And then we got Mike O'Brien, which is the co-owner of the car. He does the left cylinder head and the blower. And then I do the right cylinder head. So me and Mike O'Brien, we work really, really close with each other. Anything that he needs, I help, and anything I need, he helps out with. So we kind of work really, really good with each other. And then there's Brett. He's kind of the jack of all trades. Everybody, that's what I got to say, is everybody on the team is really, really close. And I mean, it's like a fine Swiss watch, man. I mean, it's really cool to see. Me being new, you know, I didn't really understand on how good they were until, you know, obviously I started driving for them. But I'm just really blessed to be in their position. One other person we got Bucky's daughter. She's actually my backup girl. She does an excellent job. There's a lot of people that kind of put forth the work, and that's kind of a reflection on how well we do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I love my guys and girls. I mean, they kick butt, man. They're just awesome to work with, and like I said a million times, I'm blessed to be in the position I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
now, where do you guys purchase your nitromethane from?
What's that?
Where do you guys get your nitromethane from?
I have no idea where Bucky gets it, to be honest with you. He takes care of all that stuff. Like I said, I'm the driver, man. I show up at the airport when I need to and do what I got to do on the car. And that's kind of the cool thing about our team, is everybody kind of stays in their stations and does their job to the best of their ability. So no one oversteps their boundaries. No one kind of, you know, I mean, it's kind of havoc when you watch us work. You know, obviously there's a lot going on, but as far as all that stuff, man, I stay out of it. You know, Bucky's got his program figured out, and that's the last thing I want to do is get in the middle of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's a lot of fun now.
Now, talking about all this stuff that's going on, for when you get ready for a weekend of drag racing, what goes into preparation?
I just, as far as, you know, obviously they're working hard at the shop, man. They're you know, I wish I lived closer. I live in Whittier, California. They're obviously up in Tacoma, Washington. So there's not a whole lot that I do except try to keep myself somewhat in shape. And you know, I practice on my practice tree, so you know I'll be ready for race day. But as far as you know, the crew and stuff, they're working on it 24/7. They're kind of the real deal and the real rock stars out of this whole deal. You know what I'm saying? I'm just the one that gets to have the fun. You know, so there's a lot that goes on. I mean, every race they tear the car down to basically nothing, check everything out, make sure we didn't, you know, crack the chassis or you know, they basically check on how bad I beat the car up during the weekend. But like I said, they strip it all the way down to nothing with the bare chassis and go over it with a fine-tooth comb. So, and that's kind of, like I said before, the reflection of how well it runs is their hard work. So, you know, that's basically all I got to say about that. I forgot two people as far as the team goes. We got Julie, which is Bucky's wife, and we got our team mom, which is Jeanette O'Brien. That's Mike O'Brien's wife. So it's I don't want to miss anybody. I'm trying to figure out if I'm missing anybody, but it's all a team effort between everybody.
Right. So now, what are some of your favorite tracks to run on?
I actually like Seattle. Seattle's a beautiful track. I mean, I remember my buddy Drew told me, he's like, watch, man, he's all at night when it's about dusk time. You're going to go to the finish line and you know, turn the car off, and you're going to be cruising with the parachutes out, and it's going to get dead silent, and it's probably the most peaceful place you'll ever be at, because you're kind of in the middle of the woods, you know what I'm saying? And I think that's probably what I remember the most, you know, out of all the tracks, you know, other than Bakersfield. Bakersfield's my home track, and we've done pretty well there in all the cars I race, so that's you know, obviously one of my other favorite tracks. But the other one is Mission. I love Mission just because you flat out haul ass. I mean, the air's good, the track's good. They do an excellent job. You know, it's a very, very cool track to race on. So I like all of them. As long as I'm drag racing, I like all of them.
Yes. Speaking of tracks, it sucks that they closed down the one in English Town.
Yeah, I heard about that. I don't know what the deal was. I heard it was just because of business. I mean, they wanted to do other things to make more money, which, I don't know how true it is, but if that's the case, I really can't, you can't really blame them for that, you know what I'm saying? It's just a shame another drag racing facility shutting down. It's not very good for the sport, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that track's been around for so many years.
Yeah, I never got the chance to race on it, which that's good.
So you
go ahead.
Now, you'll only run quarter mile, or you run 8th mile too?
In the Nitro car, we ran quarter mile. I mean, I ran a couple 8-mile tracks for my own cars, just to kind of do some test hits. But as far as competition, I've never really, as far as the Nitro car, I've never ran the 8th mile. To answer your question, I mean, we've tested in the 8th mile, but we don't usually run 8th mile.
Your preference would be quarter mile, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely, absolutely. Where
do you get your fire food from?
I get it from DJ Safety. Big Ben over there takes care of me. He takes care of all of my needs. So if anybody needs any safety equipment, they need to get a hold of him. I've been going to him, God, for I think since I was actually 16, 17 years old. So, it's good. Very, very. I'm really, really big on customer service, and they're top notch when it comes to that. And the quality of their fire suits and all their safety equipment is just phenomenal. I mean, it's we try to help each other out. I think I've got them business, and they've helped me tremendously. So I love those guys over there.
Now, Bobby, throughout your drag racing career, have you had any accidents or near accidents at all?
I think in 2010 or 2009. Yeah, it's one of those years. I was up at Fontana and went through the finish line at like 205 miles an hour, and the chutes didn't come out, and I ended up inbilling the car into the catch net and basically destroying my car. Other than that, the only other thing I've done is basically almost blown the body off Bucky's car in Seattle. My first race in Seattle, it broke an exhaust lifter and basically exploded the motor, blew the blower in a bunch of pieces, and was a fireball. But other than that, I've been pretty lucky, Yeah,
knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood, exactly.
So now, what have been the milestones throughout your drag racing career?
Well, obviously, this is the biggest milestone is getting a Nitro ride. But I've been pretty blessed as far as the races we won. Probably one of my other biggest milestones in drag racing is, I think in 2014, I showed up with 3 of my cars, 2 7.0 Pro cars and Nostalgia 8 Fuel car, and I had my buddy Jesse Adams drive my personal car, which was 7.0 Pro B, and then I drove the silver car I usually race in 7.0 and 7.0 Pro A, and then ran 8 Fuel, and we won in all 3 classes. So we were, supposedly we were the only one in history to win the Hot Rod Reunion in 3 cars. So I think I'll remember that for the rest of my life. It was a really, really exciting race, and it was awesome to be part of. So other than that, we've won 3 national championships in 7.0 Pro, and we've won a good amount of races. So my biggest deal, probably one of my biggest deals, actually the biggest deal, is winning the Hot Rod Reunion and Nostalgia Fuel Funny car. I mean, that's a huge deal for me. So my next goal is to win the March meet. I've been in the final rounds with the March meet, but never brought home the wallet. So I'm on a mission this March meet.
Okay. So, hold on, I lost here. I think we're on the fun questions. Are you ready for some fun questions?
What's that?
I said, you ready for the fun question portion?
Sure.
Now, Bobby, if someone said, here, Bobby, here's $150 million, can you build me a drag race track? Where would you build the track, and what kind of features would you put into it?
I actually don't know. I mean, obviously, I'd put it somewhere out in the boonies. That way, it could never be shut down because of residential, houses or anything, or whatever being built around it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know exactly where I'd put it, but I would try to make it. Honestly, I would try to make it the way it used to when I used to go to the races when I was 5 or 6 years old. You know what I'm saying? Actually, a lot like Bakersfield. Blake runs Bakersfield out there. I mean, back when they had jet cars and wheel standers and just stuff to please the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Now these events are so cookie cutter. You know what I'm saying? It's not really about the fans, I don't think. You know what I'm saying? Other than, like I said, the Hot Rod Reunion and March Meet and stuff like that. Even they have their flags, but I would just want to make it, cool to attract the younger crowd. You know what I'm saying? The younger kids, because that's what's really, really got me passionate about the sport of drag racing is going out. And I remember talking to Eddie and Ursi Hill. You know what I'm saying? I remember Ursi Hill gave me a kiss on the cheek. You don't get that stuff these days. It's all roped off and hospitality crap, and it's just in my opinion, it's a lot of stuff that is not customer friendly because at the end of the day, the crowd is our customers. I would just make it fun. You know what I'm saying? I would want to make it to attract them to come back, and I would, if I could afford it, is lower the cost so more people come in. And I understand there's inflation and stuff gets more expensive, but when you got to pay $14 for a beer, that's pretty that's pretty bad. You know what I'm saying? Not everybody can afford that. Not everybody can afford $70 to get into a race. Right. That's what attracted me to the nostalgia racing is it's somewhat cheaper. Obviously a lot cheaper to go nostalgia racing than it is big show racing. That's my main. That would be my main thing is make it fun for everybody.
Yeah, the kids are the future of the drag racing.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of these, I think the NHRA has really lost sight of that. You know what I'm saying? So it, something's got to change, or unfortunately, the sport's going to die.
Yeah, I don't even watch NHRA anymore.
Yeah, I mean it's still, I still obviously like it. I mean, because one day when I grow up, I want to be, get paid to drive. You know what I'm saying? But
yeah.
when I go to, like I'll go to the Winter Nationals. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, it's just like if I gave you two options. I want you to spend 3 hours at the March Meet and 3 hours at a big show race. Guarantee you'll go back to the March Meet 100 times over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's my biggest issue is the whole cost of the deal, and it's just not. They have a parachute guy on Sunday, but big deal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, where's the fire burnouts and the fuel alters and all the cool stuff?
Yeah. Yeah, I think it'd be cool. I think it'd be cool if you could tracks do like a like a family deal. Whole family gets in for a certain price.
Absolutely, and that's actually racing with Bucky, like going to Seattle and Boise. The Boise crew over there, they got it figured out, man. You could get like a half pound of ice cream for like $3. You know what I'm saying? You pay like $4 a beer. I have never seen a beer line so long in my entire life of all of my racing career. It's the beer line's like from the beer stand to in front of our pit. You know what I'm saying? And we're 300 feet away, 400 feet away. So that's another track that does a really awesome job on their events. But I think the cost is just, got way out of hand, period,
Yeah, I would love to see the funny cars bring back the long smoky burnouts and the dry hopping.
Yeah, same here. I try to do as long of a burnout as I can, as I think I could get away without Bucky tearing my head off. But like in my 7.0 Pro cars, I'll do 400 or 500 foot burnout. You know what I'm saying? And people ask me, well, you don't need that big of a burnout. I don't care. I like to do burnouts. You know what I'm saying? Like, what are we here for?
The fans love that.
Absolutely. And I've got so many compliments on that, and that's what it's all about. I get kids that correct me. Oh man, that was awesome. There was so much smoke coming out the tires, and that's what it's all about to me,
Like years ago when he had the Chi-Town out there doing those quarter-mile burnouts.
Yeah, that's what even when John Force used to do it in the Big Show. I used to love it, and that's one of my main reasons I do it is because my kids love burnouts. And, right before every run, they ask me, Daddy, can you do a big burnout for me? So I go out there and do it,
Yeah, it's like earlier today in the afternoon, I was watching a bunch of old videos from like the 80s, like the snake and the mongoose all doing the long burnouts and dry hops and all that.
Yep, exactly. That's when everything was cool and laid back, and everybody did it for the love of the sport, and because it was awesome. Now it's just too commercialized and industrialized and all that other crap. Obviously that's what it takes to pay the bills, but I think there can be honestly stuff be done to make it more affordable, and I don't care what anybody says, you can't tell between a 270-mile-an-hour run or 280-mile-an-hour run and a 300-mile-an-hour run. You know what I'm saying? Physically, you can't tell. If it makes flames and makes a bunch of noise, the fans will show up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the big header flames are a big hit with the fans too.
Yep, exactly. That's why I think they got that as far as that funny car chaos, I think that's going to really, really take off.
Yeah. Now, do you have any hobbies outside of drag racing?
No, I own a business in Whittier. I build race cars and hot rods, so that's kind of, I do it 24/7. In fact, I'm in my garage right now taking care of my funny car. That's kind of what I do for fun, and, that's basically it. Drag racing is kind of my life.
Okay, now, if you were able to time travel and go back in time, would you do anything different?
I don't think so, to be honest with you. Obviously I'm in the position I'm in now because of my past, so I don't necessarily know if I'd change anything. I'd probably try to spend a little more time with my kids, but, I've done my best. I've tried my best in everything I've done, and I've accomplished some goals that I've set out, years back, and, I can't really complain about my life. I'm pretty blessed, like I said.
Now, your kids, do they like drag racing?
Oh, yeah, that's all they talk about is big burnouts and making big header flames and everything else.
Any plans for junior dragsters later?
Yeah, I'm actually staring at my son. I just looked at my son's junior dragster right now. He's bugging me to get it going. He's 5 years old now, so he could start racing. I've just been so busy with the fuel car and in my business and stuff. I'm actually gonna get it running for the next couple months and take him out. So he's on the road to do it. My youngest son wants to do it too, so we'll just have to take it one step at a time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So now, Bobby, if you ever have any time to take a vacation, do you have any favorite vacation spots?
Well, I don't even know what that word is. I work mostly 7 days a week. I work, if I'm not working on my stuff, I'm working on someone else's stuff. I'm going to try to take my alcohol funny car out to Montana and make a couple squirts, but if I don't, then I have to go out there and help tune a couple 7.0 Pro cars out there. But to answer your question, no, I've never been on a vacation. My vacation is going to the races.
All right. You have a favorite food?
Do I have a what?
Favorite food.
Favorite food?
Yeah.
I don't really eat that much. Probably Mexican food. I love Mexican food.
Favorite beverage?
Beer.
Now, how about non-alcoholic?
Probably either water or Dr. Pepper.
All right. Favorite music?
I listen to everything. Whatever gets people dancing, that's what I like, man.
Now, on a race day, do you eat anything, or you don't eat it all?
You know what? It's really, Bucky's son, Dennis, he actually takes care of us. He brings us sandwiches and stuff, but a lot of times we're so busy that, we don't eat till, 10, 11, 12 o'clock at night. So anybody that's crewed on a fuel car knows what I'm talking about. Once you're in the game and in the race, it's kind of a do or die deal, you know what I'm saying? So you don't really have time to eat a lot of times.
Yeah, the fuel car is a lot more work than the alcohol car.
Yeah, definitely, especially when you're blowing stuff up.
You got to change all the plugs after every run?
Oh, yeah, we can throw those things in the trash, and we usually take the pistons out every run and cycle a new set in, and obviously we check the main bearings, and we generally we'll keep the same heads on the car as long as we don't hurt them.
Yeah. Now, if you were in drag racing, what do you think you'd be doing right now in life?
You know what? Someone just asked me that. I have no idea. I mean, I don't play golf, so I can't say I'd play golf. I honestly don't know what I would do. I'd be lost without drag racing. I'd probably be fat. I'd probably be 600 pounds and not doing anything. I'd probably be eating Cheetos on the couch or something.
So if you ever have time to watch movies, what's your favorite kind of movie to watch?
You know what? I haven't been in the movies in like 10 years. So I come home late at night, I watch like 15 minutes of TV, and I fall asleep. So I'm more of like I watch the shows on National Geographic and like those CSI shows and stuff like that if I watch TV. But other than that, I think the last movie I watched was the first Fast and the Furious. So that tells you how long ago it was.
So when you used to watch movies, what kind of movies did you like? Action movies?
Yeah, action movies.
Yeah. So what's been the fondest memory of your career?
My work career or my racing career?
Racing.
Just, I think the people that I met, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot of good people in drag racing. I mean, there's a couple jerk-offs, but, 99%, the people are great. The friends that you make, they end up being kind of like family. I really learned that as far as being on the field team traveling and stuff. I've met a lot of super nice people and a lot of supportive people. So I think the fondest memory is probably the people I've met and the experiences I've got to experience with them, and you just can't take that away, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got that good camaraderie.
Absolutely. And I think the biggest deal is the respect I've got from these drag racers that I've looked up to since I was 5 and 6 years old. Just to have them, talk to me or give me, the respect that they do, it means the world to me. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Now, if people want to find the schedule for the Bucky's car, what's the best way for them to find it online?
I'm going to get a revised schedule, and then I'll probably post it on my Facebook, so you guys, anybody can look on my Facebook. It's just Bobby Cottrell. I post quite a bit of stuff with Bucky's car and my business and my race cars, so you can just look me up on Facebook. Probably the easiest thing.
There's a page for the Bucky's car too, isn't there?
Yeah, the Austin O'Brien racing team, they got a Facebook. They don't really put a whole lot except when we're at a race. I don't know if they might have the schedule up. I'll see. If not, then I'll see if they can't post the schedule on their Facebook. No
websites?
No, I don't have any websites.
You don't got.
I like talking to people. I like to be more personable than I don't really believe in websites.
No Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat.
I got an Instagram. Yeah, I got an Instagram. Actually, Austin O'Brien Racing Team's got an Instagram. Plus I do. It's just Bobby Cottrell.
Yeah, so people could just friend you on Facebook and they'll see all your events.
Yeah. We try to, I try to, update people and let them know how we're doing and stuff. And a lot of people at the races tag me and stuff, like a lot of the photographers. So it's pretty easy to find out on how we're doing. So like I said, I post quite a bit on there just to kind of keep people in the loop and put information on there about the races.
Okay. Sounds good, Bobby. Now, do you have any last words for all the fans listening out there?
What's that?
Have any last words for all the fans that are listening in?
I just want to tell everybody how much I appreciate their support and the feedback I've gotten just this past year is, it just means the world to me, and just want to say thank you to all my crew, and obviously I can't do it without them, so hopefully this season we'll show them what we got and come home with the championship.
Sounds good, Bucky. I want to thank you for your time for the interview, and I wish you the best of luck on the 2018 race season.
I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
No problem. We'll do it again in the future.
All righty. You take it easy.
You can. Have a good night.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.